Hi, I'm Marissa McClellan, and the film I'm going to be presenting on is called This Is Not a Film. This is the original screen art. It shows the director holding the phone that he was using to record a good bit of the film that we watched, or I watched. Um, it was filmed originally in 2011, but the US release date was 2012, and the directors were Jafar Panahi and Mojtaba Mirtamaz. So the first link I included was a trailer, of course. I think that's like a really good way to intro the film and get people to see, what it's about. And the next I go into the cinematic elements. So this film, of course, is filmed unlike any movie I've ever seen. And I noted that it challenges that we know about the film, know about film and the ways in which we define cinematography. The reason why this is so interesting is because Jafar Panahi was actually facing a 20-year-long ban of filmmaking by the Iranian government, so he was not legally allowed to make any films. He actually was in house arrest while he was quote-unquote filming this movie, and that's why everything was filmed inside of his room. In this analysis, I used film in quotations because I think that's kind of paying homage to the fact that he wasn't really allowed to make a film, so that's why I put quotations when I say the word film in this analysis. But he used both a camera and a cell phone to kind of, instead of show his movie the way he would want to in a true studio production, he filmed it himself by reading his screenplay, and kind of acting out that way, playing all different characters, and setting the scene by himself. And it was incredible. It's nothing like I've ever seen before, and I think it was really revolutionary. Hence why it did so well. It received so well with the public. So the next thing I included was a link to a website. This article was very interesting. It was something I'd never seen before, and I thought it was important enough to share with other people. So the reason why this movie is so culturally significant is because I was not aware of how restrictive Iranian filmmaking laws are, and how much they censor things. I know that every country does that, but I'd never seen anything like Iran's. I know that in the United States we have to get permission from either federal or local governments based on where you're filming and things like that, but I'm not under the impression that U.S. laws are as restrictive, whereas in Iran, there's much more things you have to go through before you can even get your film approved for public screening or filming. I mean, even after you're approved for screening, you could be banned after that, and I talked about that in a bit. The tweet I included says the Iranian government just can't get enough of censoring their filmmakers. I think that was something really interesting, that back in 2012, that was a conversation, and even in 2020, it's still a conversation now. So the next thing I go into is the process. This article I kind of summarized a bit, and kind of like, it's a very long article. It's actually two parts, but I just put the one part and kind of elaborated a bit so the viewer can understand what's happening. So if someone wants to make a film in Iran, the first thing they have to do is they have to send a copy of their completed screenplay to the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance, which Jafar actually mentions in his movie. He refers to it as the ministry, and I found out this is the ministry he was talking about. So what that group does is they look at the screenplay in writing just to see if there's anything that's really inappropriate, if there's anything sexual, if there's anything that's negative to the Iranian government, anything negative about the country, and they will either cut chunks out of it, or they'll say, you know what, no, you can't make this movie, or you can't go forward until you change what we want you to change. If they pass that step, the next thing they go to is they're allowed to begin filming. After the filming process is over, they send it to another commission that reviews it again to make sure that A, it reflects what the first committee agreed on, and 2, doesn't have anything else that would be problematic. This commission is also allowed to ask for changes, and they can censor scenes of this film, and they also can kind of bin it if they want to. If they think it's bad enough, they can be like, never mind. And then if that's approved, then theoretically the film can be screened to audiences. But however, even after the film is approved for screening, it can still be banned or unable to be viewed by the public for various reasons in other ways. And this is more of kind of like a public shunning and not necessarily a legal ban. But the first way is an ayatollah, which is basically just a high-ranking clergy member. If they speak negatively about the film, then other people are going to want to watch it because this very important person says something bad about it. Or there's also Iranian movie theaters that are owned by very powerful people who have conservative values, and of course if they don't like it, then they won't show the film and nobody will see it. And then thirdly, if a film is banned in Iran, it still can't be screened abroad. So it's not like, oh, my film was banned in Iran, but I can just go screen it in France. You can't do that. You just can't watch it at all. This picture is a picture of a documentary. I thought it was really cool. This is his iguana named Ego. I thought it'd be interesting to include that picture of them. But my personal response to this film is I found myself rewinding it a lot because I never really knew anything about this. I didn't know that there was such restrictive laws. I found it very kind of sad that you could put all this time and effort into writing the script for years and send it off for submission and then have them tell you never mind, rework it, or we're not gonna let you do this at all. And if you even think you're gonna do it on your own, then there's legal consequences to that. So that is really disappointing that there's just a lack of creative liberty, which is really upsetting. I don't know. I just find that very interesting because I never myself thought about it. So to read about it in this context is very interesting, especially the article that I linked in my presentation. I thought that was incredible. I really did not know that was a thing. So that's my really response to that personally. But I did love the way that he was able to storytell so beautifully. While it was a very interesting and an unusual way of filming, quote unquote. I really didn't feel like I was missing much. I think he did a really great job of kind of setting the scene so you can feel like you're watching it and not watching him talk, which I really loved. And just in reflection, I said it, multiple times now, but I just didn't understand how serious of an issue censorship is in other countries. And I really do hope that in the future, the Iranian government and the film industry will take steps towards encouraging artistic freedom of creators across the country. And I hope that extends to other countries besides Iran as well. But thank you so much for listening.